What is up, everybody, and welcome to Skill Diff. This is a show where we have not only differing thoughts, differing opinions, but absolutely differing skill sets. I'm your host, Dylan Sanat, beside of my awesome guest.
It's your boy, P. Hollywood, here today for episode number 7.
Now that that's over, the first thing we're going to be talking about today is Ultra Takeout LA Thieves. Optic can't even buy a win. Bungie, who created the glorious Halo, has their next IP announced. In VCT, we got playoffs on the line. But first things first, Falcons win Bucharest. They're getting m0NESY. Are they about to be for real? Like, are we in the era of the Falcons? What do you think, Pat?
I mean, I've been saying this since all these other shows. No, they're not. It's just that simple. They're not. m0NESY is going to make a great addition to their team, but clearly they won this tournament. Good for them. Dexter, who they're replacing for m0NESY, played tremendous. But at the end of the day, it's like you make an adjustment for one player like m0NESY. It's going to improve you a little bit, but like, are you on the levels of Vitality, Zyro, Apex, Roach? Are you on that level just because you make one adjustment? We've seen the Falcons drop some games to some pretty subpar teams in these past couple tournaments. So it's like, if you ask me if like that one change is going to make such a big drastic adjustment that they're going to become like a top 3 team, I think for me the answer is clearly no. I mean, NiKo, who had some great plays this tournament, definitely performed a lot better than he did in the previous ones. But at the end of the day, as some people like to say, it's not going to make a difference. I'm expecting them to at least be in top 6, probably better than like Mongols, the new Eternal Fire, Aurora. Probably not better than m0NESY. There's nothing they can do, really.
Sure. I mean, I think it's really interesting because I do think at the end of the day, we're going to see a new team that is in the T4. Because I think they are probably in that, they're now fighting with m0NESY, they're fighting with EF/Aurora. I think it is in that 3 through 5 slot. But it's if they can continue to compete. Because there's been times when they've seemed like they're T2, and there have been times when they've seemed like they're T22. And we get each end of the spectrum. I do think m0NESY is going to be super, super consistent. That is good. I mean, they're probably going to be having a new player come in the summer, so we'll have to see what that looks like. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But I do think right now you're arguably losing the player who literally won MVP and is your current best player in Dexter, and you're having him swap out for an arguably better player in m0NESY. So it is going to be an uptick, but I just don't think it gets you close to Spirit or Vitality. I think that's irrational to think that you're getting a Donk or a Zywu level talent. I think m0NESY is great. He has been statistically between those two, but dude, it's going to be so hard for him to continue to compete. And then, like you said, this event was, maybe not the greatest competition.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you're not going to see, I think with m0NESY going there, it's basically, we're just going to get another G2.
Sure.
And for G2, since they are losing m0NESY, G2 did really well this tournament. Is this the last time that we're going to see them in the finals of a tournament?
I think it's the last time we're going to see them in a finals this year. I do think next year we will see them in multiple finals. And I mean, I think they have exactly between 2 and 2.5 million reasons why that's going to be the case. I mean, they said it really well. I mean, their owner kind of came out and said, hey, this is a business decision. Contract was up at the end of the year. We were going to probably lose him no matter what in a bidding war. Let's get something out of him. This is a big cash injection for that organization. I think it's going to be really, really helpful for them. And then also, I mean, I think it's good that they're sticking to Pekka because, like, he gets a lot of hate online. He made a really good tweet longer post kind of being like, hey, we're here, we're fighting, we're not going anywhere. We've questioned our decisions in the past. We still got here. We're going to keep making decisions and keep trying to hoist tournaments and trophies. So I do have some optimism that they are going to make a big bounce back. But, I mean, right now with the strengths of this Falcon squad, with the strength of Spirit and Vitality, and then others even, it's going to be really hard for G2 to compete. It's always felt like they get really, really close, but not quite close enough to hoist the trophy. So it does kind of sucks to see a big name that's probably not going to win for a while, but this was an event of not your S-tier talent. You couldn't win this event. You couldn't win this event with the second best player in the world, arguably, right now. So, what reason do I have to believe they're going to be able to do that in the next, 7-8 months of the year?
Not true, 100%. I totally agree. It's like you got m0NESY on your team right now, and you still fall second to the team that he is going to be going to.
Sure.
It's not looking too good. G2 for like these past couple tournaments have just been very underwhelming. I feel like they've always had the most potential. I mean, you have m0NESY on your team, but it's like you constantly are going out like at least top 10, but you're never breaking into that top 4. And to me, it's like you got Snacks, you got m0NESY, you got Heavy God, you got these people who are capable of making plays, but it's like, to me, it's just like they can never narrow down what they want to do.
Sure.
Like, you can have m0NESY, who is doing number 2 player rated, dropping all these, but you still lose every map. It's just for snacks.
Yeah.
To me, I don't understand what's happening right now.
And I mean, the crazy bit is it was a sweep in the finals. Like, it wasn't even like.
No, exactly. And that's the problem is, like, G2, who is a good organization, it's just like, I don't understand how they can make these decisions and do as bad as they're doing right now with such talented people on their roster. So to me, it really defines on who they're going to replace m0NESY with.
Sure.
And, like, is he going to be number 2 player worthy?
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
I mean, like, but does that make the team better?
No.
Maybe
no
they.
chance.
I mean, do you need a player to be able to do good?
Sure.
I mean, maybe this player just has a better knack for the game, works
More
better
team
with
chemistry.
the team. Yeah, so it ends up making them do better. But are they going to beat Spirit? Are they going to beat m0NESY? Are they even going to beat Falcons, where m0NESY is going now, especially if they get another player that they have their eyes set on?
Totally, and it's also, I mean, you got the Mongols, you got a lot of other teams that are really good in that kind of mid-tier pool of, like, Astralis can be there, FaZe can be there, like, Complexity might even be there, and it's like, you got to go through, but I'm saying you got to go through all of those teams. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that without m0NESY, right?
Exactly.
And then I think, that kind of leads us into all the teams that they were playing in this event is, we joked that this is the mid-major, if you will, because it's the major of the mids. 1.2 million on the line, still a whole lot of money, but at the end of the day, like, we didn't have Vitality, we didn't have Spirit, we didn't have m0NESY. So with the events that unfolded, as they unfolded, a lot of the series ended up being close. A lot of the games were really good. We saw a lot of OTs. Still very good, also very exciting. We saw a lot of no-name teams kind of come in and compete. At the end of this, is your review of the mid-major, it was a mid-major, or do you think this is actually, worth the price of admission?
I mean, it's like, I think it's worth the price of admission. Like, I still stand by the fact that, like, sure, it's more mid because the top teams aren't there, but, like, you're getting way more entertainment value out of this tournament than you would ones where you have Valor's vitality. Because, I mean, like, the Complexity run up to 4th, fantastic. Watching Astralis fail and Mongols fail, to me, fantastic. Because all these teams are built up and, like, it's like any team, the 46th ranked team or the 6th ranked team. Either one of them can come in here and get a dub. And that's what's fun about this tournament. But at the same time, it's like it doesn't really justify any top team that's going to be able to compete with the main 3 that are above them all right now. And I think that's the problem with it. Sure, you can bring home that 1.2 million. Congratulations to the Falcons. Like, but at the end of the day, it means nothing whenever you go to your next one, any major, and you throw in the m0NESY, the Vitality, Spirit. It's all the same thing. I feel like they're just so leagues above the rest of the squad that, like, you enjoy this while you can. It makes for good entertainment value.
And the scary thing is, those bad, scary men are just at home resting, recharging, practicing, getting better to come back better than ever.
Better than ever.
And that's the scary piece. And again, one of the things I wanted to note is you had teams outside the top 15 that we would never consider would actually be, like, competitive teams. Like, you had Apogee, you had Legacy, you had Rare Atom, and you had all those teams making deep runs. Like, they got wins. Like, they were, like, actually, like, taking games off Mongols. I mean, you had
Day one
Astralis
upsets
and Mongols both not even making the bracket. And then the crazy thing, when you think about the finals, we had the first 0-2 team in the Falcons make the finals and win, and then we had the first 3-0 team, G2, in the finals and lose. So, like, it was like a really wild pendulum at times. I mean, at the end of the day, like, when you think about it from the viewership perspective, it's 500K viewers, which is a lot. I mean, it doubled anything over the weekend with the exception of some weird mobile games that got crazy viewership from Asia. Of the majors, though, when you compare to Valorant, League of Legends, and everything else, it doubles everything in viewership. And again, like, these are not names that are big. Like, I think Falcons is a household name, but it's not Spirit. It's not Donk. It's not Zywoo. I mean, it's not m0NESY at this point. And it's like, it was cool because you had the fight for m0NESY, one last battle of, does he win on his old team, get one last dub, or does his new team show him why you're coming here? So I think it's worth the price of admission if you're a fan. I think it's something really, really cool to go to. I think it's one of those, if you get the opportunity to go to events like these are probably, like you said, more entertainment to watch. You also get to see a lot of teams, and you get to, get invested in names and players that you've never heard from before, which I think is always really sick. I mean, even Complexity. America made a little bit of a run in there, and you thought for a moment they might be able to sneak into a final, and it's like, we're obviously big Team America here, but, like, they did not deserve to be there. They do not probably deserve to be in the final, but, like, the fact that they almost happened, like, that's crazy. So overall for me, huge ups, huge wins. Counter-Strike, seems like it's the leader in all esports once again.
Well, leader in all esports, I guess, if we want to talk about viewership numbers. But if we're going to move on to, like, the real leader in esports, we got to talk about VCT. everybody's favorite tactical shooter. So VCT, VCT, we're coming into the final week going on before we set to the playoffs. A lot of the teams are already set.
Sure.
There's a couple matchups that are looking real good this weekend, particularly between NRG and Lev. Both of those 1-3 teams looking to battle it out to secure their spot in the playoffs. Is there anything that you're really looking forward to?
I mean, to me, I'm very excited. I mean, I think that's going to be really fun. That's who gets in. I mean, we kind of called this out a couple weeks ago. I think the C9 matchup is going to be really good because, you know, hey, at the end of the day, they're going to be able to be tied. Winner take all kind of for the 1 seed. It objectively doesn't really matter. They're both going to be playing in the tournament. But I do think that's going to be a big pride match because you're about to have to face these teams again. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, all the pressure lies on C9 because if they end up getting that victory, like you're going to be on cloud 9. You're going to be rolling high going into that event, and you're going to feel like you can take out anybody. But if you get bodied 2-0, you only get like 4 or 5 rounds in it. I don't know how, like, you're probably going to get bounced first round in that event. Like, you're not going to be feeling good. So for me, that's probably the matchup I'm most interested in. I do think, obviously, the elimination match is going to be really good. I think on the other side of the bracket, you're going to have Crew versus 100 Thieves, which is going to be kind of like your battle at the top, which I think Crew might have slipped up last week. So, I mean, they got a little bit messy on them, but I think them versus 100 T will be really nice. I know that you're going to be rooting for one of those teams for sure. So I think we'll get a little bit of excitement out of there. I think it's going to be good going into the playoffs, but at the end of the day, it's like this season to me it's been erratic. It's been different. It's been, you know, random at times with the exception of one particular team that's still undefeated. So it's, you know, I'm just ready to see some playoffs. I want to see some stuff matter. I want to see America try to go back up against Europe and Asia. So I'm just ready for the next Masters.
I mean, I'm definitely ready for the next Masters for sure. And to talk about some of your matches that you spoke on, Crew and 100 Thieves, I mean, there's only one winner of that match. It's clearly 100 Thieves. They're the better team. Crew has never been the better team. They've had a nice, solid run. I'll give them that. Kesna has been dominating, but, like, they just got stomped by EG. EG is a pretty, I dare say, mid team.
But maybe you get that out of the way now, right? Like maybe that wakes them up. Maybe that's like, hey, you quit slipping, bro.
But when I see that, that's the Crew that I know. That's the Crew that comes through and wins and gets themselves through to the international stage and then drops off right off the bat. That's why 100 Thieves is going to get their revenge on them this time for what they did to them at last Worlds. So that one, 100 Thieves all the way. Cloud9 and G2, not even close. G2, all the way. G2, Cloud9, once again, is the same way. Cloud9 is a good team, but they slip up constantly. They have been doing a lot better than any of their previous splits that I've watched them do, but G2 is just on another level. Unless they just don't show up to play at all, that's an easy 2-0. And my favorite match, the elimination one, Leviathan versus NRG.
Who you got?
This is, Leviathan. That's my team right there. Demon 1 and Calm. Winning this game. They have been doing better these past couple matches, redeeming themselves. They took G2 to map 3. Almost beat G2. Okay, almost gave them their first L. I think they're going to have no problem beating NRG. FNS is a little bit past his prime. He's got some good calls, but I think King, Rossi, Demon 1, and Calm, they're going to give them the smackdown to secure their spot into the playoffs.
I'm going to take the opposite of everything you just picked, and I think I'll win.
That's your strat.
That's
just
my strat.
Take the opposite.
Take the opposite. All 3 of those matches, give me the inverse. I got it this weekend. We'll see. We'll talk about it next week and come back to that. The next thing we want to do is we want to hop into a breakdown segment. Over the weekend, Bungie, which is, you know, arguably one of the OG fathers of esports with Halo, produced one of the greatest games of all time. They announced their next game. It's a throwback to an original game that they had made many, many moons ago before Halo called Marathon. They did a, multi-hour presentation outlining, you know, how it works, what it is, what does it look like, some gameplay clips in there, had Lupo, a whole bunch of other big streamers and stuff all come out and play the game. And, you know, there was a lot of chatter about it, Pat. There was a lot of chatter.
There was a lot of chatter.
What, you know, just let us know what you think. Just off the cuff from the rip, where are we going with this?
Like we're going like off the cup, off the rip. Not excited. Low-key, just not excited. I was expecting a lot more from this game. I was expecting it to be like a competitor to Tarkov in a way. It's an extraction shooter. I've always wanted other games like Tarkov. I'm a big Tarkov fan, so I wanted them to be able to succeed in that manner as well because competition breeds good gaming.
100%.
If they got better competition, they're going to do things better at their game. But when I saw this, dude, the first thing I thought was like, yeah, it's like Apex Legends, I guess. Like 3-man teams, got abilities, the main thing you're picking up is just like upgrades to your abilities and to your weapons. It's like, it literally is like almost seems like they're taking the Apex Battle Royale and turning it into an extraction shooter. I'm not a fan. I think the guns look dumb. They're very blocky. Reminds me of watching my son play Roblox. Like, not cool at all. Yeah, the graphic aesthetic is just bad. I expect so much more from Bungie. I mean, if it's from Halo, we got even Destiny. We can rack on Destiny all day long, but
the guns
Destiny looks cool. The backdrops are amazing, beautiful, breathtaking game. And I get they're wanting to pay some homage to like some older style graphics with this or whatever, but it's like, if you're going to try to sell me cosmetics, which I'm sure they're going to do, how are you going to make a rectangle look cooler? You're going to give me blue?
It's a double barrel rectangle.
Yeah. Are you going to give me a blue one, a red one? Maybe this one has some little pixel firegrass coming off of it. It just, to me, it looks so, I'll give it a try. I'll give it that. I'll give it one little try. Play it for like maybe a day.
You going to do the alpha? Hop in.
I haven't signed up.
That's how mid it is.
They didn't even pique my interest enough to sign me up.
Sure.
And what's funny is Dr. Lupo was talking. All I seen before this announcement was like, yeah, I've been working with them behind the scenes. I played the game for like 6 years, dude. This game looks great. And that's the presentation we get?
Yeah.
That's what you're hyping up, dude? I mean, I know Tarkov's bad, but let's be for real.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest piece is like, one, I think that nothing deserves that type of, parade and, patsy show thing that they did other than GTA 6. GTA 6, give us flowers, let us do its thing. Like, that is deserving of what we saw in that event. That event should have been a trailer, should have been featured at the Game Awards, should not have been an event. And again, it's probably a celebration of the development staff that probably have worked tirelessly and, have done, in their minds, great things. But it's like, it's one of those where it just feels like a big swing and a miss. I think that's kind of how the internet felt as well. Got people defending each sides of it, either hating it or loving it. And I mean, that's to be expected. But to me, it's just, there's so much left to be desired. Because I think when Tarkov first came out, I mean, I played Tarkov before anyone I know played Tarkov. And it was not a complete game, not an in-depth game. There was not a lot there. Now, years later, it was really, really good. If you're Bungie, you're not going to get that leniency. Like, Battle State Games gets that, right? But Bungie, you do not get that. It's got to come out of the gate swinging. And, I really like Destiny all the way into the end of the alpha, because the way it was pitched, the way it was sold, the way everyone in the world received it, that beta comes out, that beta feels so good. Like, we are sitting on planets with our friends doing cool stuff we've never done before. We're about to get dungeons and raids and all that. And that's probably me all-time high of Bungie stock for me. Because when that game came out, we got one more mission and a raid. That was it. Like, we basically got 80% of the game in the beta. I fear we're going to get the same thing with Marathon. I fear it's going to be very light. I think the way that game succeeds is going to be based on, are there dungeons? Is it cool? What's the depth to it? Because they mentioned a lot of stuff. As a Tarkov lover, you're going to be very, very critical of this. There's not going to be limb-based combat damage, which probably makes the armor system a little bit easier, because that's something that people hate about Tarkov. But at the end of the day, getting your arm blacked out in Tarkov's a real deal. Whereas in this, it's like, oh, I took 50 points of damage, so scary. Like, oh, let me just stim pack heal. And then they also want to make it so that any player can kill any player, no matter the skill disparity. And I've talked about this before. That's something I hate about Tarkov. But it's interesting that, like, I don't know, it makes it feel like there's no stakes for progressing now.
I don't get why you would hate something like that. I think that is the epitome of great game design, of like, if
it gives you a reason to keep playing.
If me, who has been playing for longer, has way more money than you, can put on this expensive kit, I shouldn't just get a free win over you just because you haven't put in as many hours as me.
Sure.
And the thing is that's why it's harder. It's harder for you to take a pistol and kill me if I have a face shield and all these things on. But it's possible. That's what makes it great. And that's what scares me about things like Marathon. They do want it to be that way, but when I look at them shooting each other and I look at those TTKs, it doesn't look very probable, as they say. Like, what's a 0 to hero run in Marathon look like compared to Tarkov?
100%. And how does it feel like a scav run? I mean, there's so many variables as to what it's going to be like. And, that's why it's hard to theorycraft until we can kind of play the game. But I do think this will be one that I do hop in and try, because I don't hate the art style. I think that it's cool, interesting, and different. It's also one of those to where it's like, I think it's so good in terms of visual fidelity that it's going to be really hard to run on a computer, but it's so bad, it's probably not worth it being that hard to run, which is funny. I think that's an advantage of games like Counter-Strike because the game is really basic and simple and you can run it on a toaster, whereas Tarkov, you basically have to have an insane PC to be able to even run the thing. There's certain maps you can't even load into unless you've got like an 80 series plus. And if you do load into it, you shouldn't. So it's weird because I do think some of the optimizations like that are going to be a little bit funny. I think it'll be interesting to play, but yeah, there's so many pieces of the art style and unique graphical elements of Destiny with things like the Galahorn and the really cool weapons and armors and all that stuff I think are sick. I just don't know how that fits with this art style. It's going to be really weird. And then late game, I don't know what you're going to do. Personally, without the wipes in Tarkov, I don't know what you would do because if Tarkov doesn't wipe, I don't know what.
Well, I mean, I don't know what all Marathon has, but Tarkov has a mission structure. You have things that you go for, that you're doing tasks and all that. Now, I assume maybe Marathon might have something like that. I haven't heard nothing about that, but it's like, to me, it just seems Marathon's more like PvP based. Like, just go in, here's some players, go get some better loot to upgrade your person. Yeah, and then fight.
Yep.
Do some PvP. Maybe they'll add some like PvE bosses or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I got a little bit more vibes like the Hunt or that old Evolve Showdown game, stuff like that.
So I hope it's not like Evolved.
Me too, but so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, we'll have to hop in there and try whenever it comes out. I think this is the furthest from Halo Combat Evolved, massive milestone in multiplayer. I mean, it would be cool. I don't think there's going to be an esport out of this, but I would say it's going to be improbable. But all in all, I think it's going to be fun. So, I think that wraps it up. Any other hot takes before we exit the Bungie side?
No, basically, I'm just sad. Bungie has literally went from one of the greatest developers all to like the likes of EA and Activision.
1 year from now, we'll be 52 episodes later. Do you think if we bring this up again, will we be like, what was that game? Or you think it'll still be a big thing?
Most likely.
Most likely, what was that?
90% chance that Marathon gets forgotten about in a year.
1 year, 52 weeks. That's a short time. Heck yeah. Well, moving on, we're going to hop into the beautiful world of another titan of esports that does have a crazy history.
It's a strong word.
Arguably, maybe a little bit on its back foot like Bungie too. But moving into the CDL, we had some really exciting games over the weekend. Most notably, the Falcons got victories. They're in the winners column. We got m0NESY looked so ecstatic when he won that map. Congrats to him. Shout out to that whole squad. Glad he finally got a victory in CDL. We argued and thought maybe he will never. But they did get some dubs. So that's super, super good. But they're going to make champs? Like, this is a real team? Like, can they get T4? Like, what's your ceiling on this Falcons team?
I think they're probably getting pretty close to it. 21 matches it took them to win. Congratulations. Sure. Last episode, we gave them a round of applause for winning a respawn. I would love to give them a standing ovation for this one, but I don't want to mess up my camera angles. Great game by them. And it's so great to me that the team that they beat was Optic. Just, that is literally, yes, it's like the cherry on top of the ultimate thing here. m0NESY, the interview at the end was great. He definitely was happy. I'm happy for him that they were able to get the win. But are they going to make it to champs? That's a real tough one. Because for me, it's like, if they play like that every time, sure. I think there is a world in which they can do good at Major 3, do good at Major 4. Maybe they can get enough points to make it the champs. But if we look at them last weekend, no, that team's not making it the champs. Okay, so, and that's how it goes with most of these COD teams, which I'm always talking about every time. It's always about the consistency of it. Sure. If our cities can have that 100 Slayer rating every single game,
you're good.
You're good. You're winning. The vets are going to take you to champs.
100%.
But it's like, dude, the congratulations to me, you beat Optic. I mean, sure, they got Hook now. Everybody around here says not the problem. I'm not saying he's the problem. They needed somebody. Maybe Pred, maybe Kenny, maybe they were the problem. Maybe it's Dashy, maybe it's Shotzi. I don't know who the problem is. But Optic started off strong 2-0. Now they're not doing good this weekend. You lose to the Falcons. You gave them their first win. I think that's hilarious.
Sure.
If you talking about Call of Duty, you love Call of Duty. If someone was to tell you that Falcons would be the one, or Falcons would give Optic, or let them get their first win on them, would you believe it?
At any moment before Pred became on that team, if you told me that, there's a part of me that would believe it, just solely under the pretense of Optic's ability to be involved in history and Call of Duty is so
So
impressive. For better or
even
worse.
if it's better or worse.
Better or worse, they do some crazy nonsense. They've had some of the best teams in the world get beat by patty aches in a weird early part of the bracket. They've had some of the worst teams in the world made incredible runs. So it's, I mean, we've seen it all with this Optic squad, but I mean, we'll get to them in a second. But when I think about this Falcons group, though, incredible job by them. I mean, I think Clayster's doing a great job of coaching them. I think they're going to continue to improve. I think with, Pred trying to anchor that organization and like kind of be the new de facto face, they could make a run. It's going to be hard. They're going to need to basically go T4 from here on out. They're going to need to win like 70 to 80% of their season matches remaining. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be an uphill battle. It'll be so improbable for them to make it. However, if they do make it, the team currently in 8th place is Optic. So that is a crazy sight to behold. It'll be interesting to see. I think the ceiling for them probably is T4. I don't think there's a chance that they could take off really anything from FaZe, Ultra, or Thieves. The others, they might be able to sneak one on. Like, there's times when Surge look bad. There's times when Surge look good, like the consistent stuff you're bringing up before. So I think they could, if they got a favorable bracket in Major 3, make a good run, but it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be so hard.
It definitely is going to be hard, but it would be very poetic once again if Falcons were the one to knock Optic out of champs for this year.
100%.
That would be hilarious. But you mentioned Ultra there a second ago. Ultra had a fantastic weekend taking down the Los Angeles Thieves.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming? The Online Warriors get taken down by Beans and Crew. So
100%.
Ultra, are they top 2 now?
I'm just saying, on another one of our shows, there's a beautiful man by the name of CJ Pathfinder. He might have predicted that. He might have been the only one that said that, but somebody might have told him to say that. I'm the biggest Bean stan there is. I love this kid. I think the energy you get from him is insane. I don't think he always has the craziest stat line. I don't think he always is, top frag and the showiest player there is. You kind of need to lean on Joe Deceives to kind of do work. We got to see CleanX do it as well. But Beans comes in clutch. I mean, he's also like, the heart and soul of that team. So much energy. I think that series, they should have won that series earlier. The control was questionable at best. They definitely probably should have won that one. But overall, I think it really comes down to, yes, it is Game 5. Yes, it is round 10. And you get to the point where it's, hey, we're about to go to round 11. Round 11 is going to be a coin flip. Anybody can take this. Then you end up having Beans clutch it up. Moments later, you got him shaking the cam, going all crazy in it, having a good time. And that's just the vibes of this team. I mean, it is crazy to me, though, because I do think the Thieves are arguably, other than m0NESY, the best online playing team there is. So it is a little bit surprising that they're able to do this here. This feels like something they could have, should have, and did do on LAN. So I think if they continue in this trend moving forward, I mean, I definitely think they're cementing themselves as the second best team in the CDL. I think it's going to be hard for them to continually beat Thieves. I think it's going to be hard for them to continually beat Surge. And I think it's going to be almost impossible for anyone to beat FaZe. But I do think right now, second place is looking like it's their chair and people are fighting them. They might not always be in it for the rest of the season, but I think arguably they should have it for the majority of the rest of the year, that number 2 spot.
Yeah, I think they definitely have opened up that spot because, like, before I was always saying it's like, oh, it's Thieves and FaZe, 1 and 2, no contest whatsoever. But now it's looking more like it's just FaZe. FaZe is locked in number 1, at least for LAN. They'll drop a couple games online because it's online. Who cares? But LAN, they're not losing. Thieves, on the other hand, they're supposed to be the online champs. They didn't drop in the last qualifier. They didn't drop any. Undefeated online. Then they're going to lose to Ultra right over the red after losing to them at the major. And to me, Ultra definitely has solidified themselves in the top 4. I'm not going to give a number. I think I'm still a LAT fan here, so I'm going to. I think Los Angeles is looking a little rough right now, but I think going into Major 3, I think they're definitely going to show people like Ultra why they are the number 2 team, potentially number 1 team, because they've only been the only one to rival FaZe. But
100%.
Yeah, but Beans, I love Beans too.
Yeah.
He's a vibe.
He's a vibe.
And I think that makes for fun to watch, great entertainment. Love, unfortunately, the memes. Whether he loves them or hates them, I don't know. But, like, I get a kick out of them. CleanX, really good on that team. I think they definitely have been doing really well and consistent. And Surge has not been looking too good. I think they can bypass them.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to Ultra on this next major coming up.
100%. I mean,
top 4 easy.
Totally. And you could look at, like, that Thieves team has taken players from other really good teams. This Ultra team wasn't supposed to be good. You took away arguably their best player, and, dude, they're better than you right now, which I do think, I agree 100%, Major 3, we're going to get to see, like, Is this a bounce back from Thieves, or are we chalking it, wrap it up, let's go to next year? But speaking of wrapping it up and going to next year, dude, Optic. What's happening, man? You go 2-0, then you go 0-2. The greatest to the worst, just like that. Blink of an eye, 1 week. What's up? Is this Optic done? We're not making champs. They're 8th seed right now. Got 2 teams close on their heels. Got Falcons a little bit further back. They're sitting in 8th, 1 spot away from not even going to the dance.
It's looking tough for Optic. I mean, obviously, I've been big team on the Optic hate train here recently, but I don't want them to get knocked from champs. I mean,
viewership will be dead.
Yeah, it's going to hurt the viewership. I don't think that Call of Duty can afford to have them not make it. So
100%.
the script's got to write itself. But I think they're still a fantastic team. I don't know if it's like Skies has just been not performing. I'm not a fan of this pickup.
Well, you're talking about a mid player on a mid team gets promoted to the biggest limelight on the biggest organization.
Yes, exactly. You
didn't think he was going to perform?
Well, I thought maybe he'd perform a little bit. I mean, to me, when I watched those games of the week, the one specifically against the Falcons that they lost, I seen him make one great play, and that was on red card S&D. And whenever it was the 1v2 and he was drawing out time for his teammate, playing the little ring around the rosy. I can't remember who he was doing it with, dancing around with. But, like, moments like that shows great movement, great game knowledge, awareness, ready to go. But then other times, it's lost. To me, Shotzi's not been looking good. Everybody's always praising Shotzi. Been there. He's dominant. Where's he been?
Might be the problem.
Asleep at the controller.
Yeah.
Dashy, same way. I think this team needs, like, a boot camp or something strong to be able to go, or they're not going to make a chance. Because, like, the Rocker been doing a lot better. Everybody who left Optic, Pred and Kenny, they're looking happy, ecstatic. They're playing Call of Duty again like they just started fresh.
100%.
Everybody on Optic looks sad and depressed. So I think there is a possibility they don't make it a champs.
Yeah.
But I think they will. I think they'll clutch it out. I don't think Cloud9's going to be able to pass them.
I hope they do for viewership's sake. I agree 110%. I think the post-game losing to the Falcons, when you have one player on Optic, you can go back and watch the VOD. I'm not going to call him out, but he's just, for 20 seconds. It's crazy. I think stuff like that's nuts. It's interesting because you literally go from defending world champions might not make the world championship event. And me, I'm going to probably stand on the bold take of, unless something fundamental changes, they don't make champs right now. There's no chance. They're going down so fast. You have to remember, before the first minor, this was the #1 team in CDL points. And now they are the last team in. They're going in one direction, and it's into the ground. And it's not looking good. I don't think Hook's the problem. I don't even think Caesar's the problem either. Caesar, to me, is Skies is akin to a Beans. He's another fun guy. He's cool. I think arguably the internet would break if they make a champs or major run and they win. And he lives up to his end of the bargain, rips off that shirt, and is just, shirtless on stage having a good time. That would be one of the greatest clips in Call of Duty imaginable. But, dude, I don't see any reality where that happens. No. I would love for it, too, but I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to happen, so that's all I got.
And that's just so unfortunate because, Optic is synonymous with Call of Duty. If you think Call of Duty, you think Optic. So them not being in the champs is definitely wild.
100%. So let's move on to our last, maybe most important, definitely most fun thing, buy or sell. You kick us off today. What do we got?
Oh, I'm going to kick us off today. Okay. Yeah. Well, First thing?
We going chicken jockey?
Yes, we are. Minecraft, baby. Such a success at the box office. We're getting a sequel. Yes, dude.
No. Immediate sale. We're not doing this. I'm immediately out. We are automatically re-upping a movie that is I haven't seen the movie.
Exactly.
I could stand to be corrected. From my understanding, movie's trash. Subpar. We're piloting it because we're going to the theater and we're spewing popcorn and yelling chicken jockey. This is how we get sequels. I think if you are a Hollywood executive right now, you just need to look, what do sub-20-year-old people enjoy irrationally? Make a movie out of that, and then spread some TikTok false rumors about people throwing popcorn and going fanatical, and then sequel. Cash, money, done.
Cash money, baby. Hey, for me, this is a buy. because I love it when the society, people, who whatever you want to call them, come together to make fun of the Hollywood corporations, anything. They hype this thing up with this meme that Minecraft 2 is going to happen, and I guarantee you that one is going to be a box office flop because nobody's going to care. They're not going to meme it. It's the same thing with Morbius and all of those. It's like it's carried by the meme. That's what makes it funny. And then all these executives just see dollar signs, and they're going to invest so much into this just to lose. It's going to be fantastic.
Speaking of the opposite of the memes, the second one we're going to have today, Masters was over the weekend. Congrats, Roy, for finally getting your green jacket. It took you long enough. It's like a decade at this point. However, lots of media attention. Masters, very prestigious place. They won't let you say certain words. You can't say fan because it's a negative thing. You got to say spectator, patron. They're a little bit of a weird bunch over there. One thing they do that is pretty neat and getting a lot of interest on the internet is they do not allow for phones or videos to be shot. Everybody you see at the Masters is all watching the thing. You come there to be a spectator, you spectate. You don't film. Do you think that no phone policies should be adopted by major events? You buying or selling this?
What? Dumb rule. I think they're just so far up their own buttocks that it's just unreal. And I think it makes it why nobody likes golf. It's like a bunch of pretentious D's, dude. D-bags. Like, it's just like, you can't use your phone? I can't videotape? You can only use my production? It's so cringe, man. It's like, it's got to be perfect. All the old people are probably so ecstatic there. I'm so proud of all those 70-year-olds watching that sport. Good God.
Well, the good news is I think I'm going to be eating dinner with McCain's and Walkers later, the good old K&W, because I'm buying this. I think this is incredible. I think Joe Rogan and a few others, they do their comedy tours where you have to put your phone in like a little Ziploc bag. You put it into a locker before you can go in. Part of that's for doxing reasons. They don't want their jokes and specials and stuff to get out before they actually make something.
Yeah, understandable.
But I do think it's understandable in that context, but I also think it's understandable. Like, you are paying to go to an event, to see an event. It's just like when you pay to go to the gym, you go to the gym.
Who cares?
You don't have to Instagram yourself in the photo of the gym before going to the gym.
Who cares?
Just do the thing.
They gave them money.
We're buying it.
Communism.
We're buying it.
Communism.
What's next?
Next is The Last of Us, the show, season 2 just aired. Okay, just started this last Sunday. Excited. Oh, but we got some great news already. He was asked if there was going to be a part 3, and then my man said, we're getting a season 3. Confirmed.
He said season 3, not part 3, which is interesting. Yes. I am going to, surprising to you, I'm buying this. I think, one, we're awarding a show that is categorically good with a good result. I'm also interested, too, because I think the universe is really, really cool. I think the art direction, everything Naughty Dog does is incredible, for one. But two, I think we get a chance now to, this could be weirdly the first time society has been excited to take a video game with its content into a direction that the season 3 could be a part 3. It could be completely disassociated with the game. You could get your redemption arc from Last of Us 2 that you want in the show, and it might be beautiful in the show. And it's going to be different, which I'm always excited for, but I, one, think it's a great game. From my understanding, I haven't seen the first season, but I've understood that the first season is really good first season. So rewarding that, but then two, like, I hope we get a season 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even keep on going. Just keep that universe. It's cool seeing new universes and new spaces, so I'm in it. Send it. Do that with Star Wars, all of it. Cool, new, unique things.
Nah, this one's a sale.
Wow.
Purely based on the video game that it's based off of. Last of Us Part 1, one of the greatest games of all time. Easily in my top 5. Probably number 1 if we're talking single-player drama games. Fantastic. Last of Us Part 2, probably in my bottom 5. Terrible game. And that's unfortunate because that means this season's going to be bad. I got nothing but respect for the actors and everybody that's working on the show. Season 1 was fantastic.
But the writing's just chalk?
Yeah, unless they change basically a whole lot about this second game, the fans aren't going to like this season either.
I think if you change the pacing from the game, I think you even...
Not just pacing.
I meant
you got to flop some stuff around. Yeah, you got to order these events differently. If they do that, I think it can be salvageable and at least be a decent show.
Half by the end.
But, like, the game, so bad. So bad. Makes me mad.
They also, I mean, they implemented the Left Behind, which was a post-game thing that technically was a prequel. They kind of interjected that throughout the season. So they did do it differently in that cadence before for season 1. So it will be interesting to see how season 2 goes.
Yeah, I mean, they changed stuff. They will probably change some things for season 2. But will they change a lot? Because they know the game got a lot of hate.
100%. Speaking of people getting a lot of hate, this one is going to be spicy. The Ubisoft is currently in a lawsuit about the game The Crew, okay? And I'm just going to read this because this is so, I don't even know, stunning, breathtaking, like hate-inducing. Their statement is, players don't own the games. They only have limited license access to them because they're shutting down the Crew servers and people are upset. They paid for a game that they're no longer allowed to play. Are you buying or selling Ubisoft saying that players don't actually buy games, you just buy limited access?
So buying will be saying I agree with the CEO.
Correct.
Okay, we're selling 100% because I don't agree with that dude on anything, really. I think I get the fact that when we buy digital and games are always online, that like we are at the servers. We're at the will of the company. As long as the servers are up, we get to play. If servers go down, we don't get to play. I understand that, but like there comes a time when games like, look at Concord that come along. Like sure, they got a refund, but like sometimes games come along that don't last a couple months and then they're basically dead, you know, and they cut the servers off and you never get to play it again. Hitman had that same thing of like, it's a single player game, but always online. Why? Ubisoft loves doing this. So many companies are doing this. It's so terrible. Give us games. We should be able to play offline. If I buy the game, digital or physical, I should be able to keep playing it 10 years down the road if I want to come back to it.
I do think, to me, it's tough because I agree. I want to sell this. I don't think the solution is to mandate games do stuff like that. I think the consumers just have to be better. They have to be more educated. They have to make better decisions. They're currently not making good decisions. You shouldn't, it's insane to me that so many people bought Concord. Every objective sign to me said, red flag, don't buy this, hot garbage, bad. And it's stuff like The Crew, you obviously know it's going to be sunset. There's a lot of games like the ones you mentioned with server things. I think that we'll probably see groups like the European Union start to enact random policies on this that'll probably be maybe net better. I don't think that's a solution. I don't like over-governance in that capacity, but I do think that whenever your game's going to go away and you're going to get rid of multiplayer servers, like if old CODs are going to shut down their servers, let people host them. Just open it up. Hey, if people want to host this, let it happen. Because, like, you're not doing anything. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't hurt you in any capacity. Like, the game's probably 10 years old. It's not like it has proprietary code. Like, MW1 is written in languages that we probably don't even use today. So it's like, you know, just let them be. Just call it a day, let it be.
It's unfortunate. But, you know, we were just talking about shows, and another great show that ended so terribly, Game of Thrones. Okay. It's a big thing. What was in Game of Thrones? Dire wolves. Okay, everybody. They have genetically, in a lab tube, churned up some DNA, and poof, out came a dire wolf. Brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that, man?
We're selling Jurassic Park. This is how it starts. I'm not going there in any capacity. It's interesting. I do think it's cool. I think from a scientific, technological perspective, it's definitely cool. I don't know, like they probably went extinct for a reason. Maybe it was us. I don't know. It is a little bit odd to be bringing some of these things back, and I don't know. It just feels like this is the first step to us getting a T-Rex. I know that probably makes some people excited. That does not make me excited. I can only see the terrible realities where this goes category or catastrophe level wrong. So yeah, I'm selling. I'm out. No chance. Not going to Jurassic Park.
You don't want a T-Rex running around in New York?
Nope, no chance.
Yeah, for me, it's big team sell too. I'm not a big fan of all the genetically modified things. It's just so unnatural.
Only the sugars. Only the high fructose corn syrup.
Well, if it involves food, yeah, I'm down. But like, if we're talking animals, no. I mean, it's like, even if we talk about dog breeds, like some of the things they do to like genetically modified dogs to like, we do some weird stuff. I find that stuff very, almost satanic in a way. Like, we don't want to bring back no Jurassic Park. I don't want no T-Rexes, no Velociraptors. I don't want no direwolves. They're not, I mean, they are cute, but like, it's not cute. Okay, not cute at all.
The next thing we wanted to bring up is Faker played his 1,000th LCK game. It's incredible. If he was a champion in League of Legends, he would be the 4th most played champion in that region. That's incredible. You buying or selling most impressive esports history, I guess, if you will, like longevity of a career, Faker?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, come on, man. Really?
10 years. That's a decade. That's crazy.
It is 10 years, but it's like,
longer.
I think he has the success of the modern age.
What does that mean?
Like
elaborate. Esports
being more popular now than it was. I would much rather give it to somebody from way back in the day, honestly, more pioneer-based.
Fatality?
No. I'm talking more like, I'm like with my boy Eli and Nick. Go old school Halo here.
Oof.
Talking about like the Ogres.
They've been
or
around
like
for a while.
Roy, all them, like a bunch of, and just some of them, of course, are still playing Halo to this day.
It's true.
No disrespect to Faker. He is a fantastic league player, the best league player, has been doing it for a long time. He deserves all the accolades that he's gotten. And I'm sure he's going to keep doing it. I'm sure he's going to keep bringing more.
I'm buying this. Faker is the greatest single game athlete we have ever seen in anything, bar none. He is Jordan.
Off of what standard?
What I mean, he's been dominant for over a decade. Like, he literally, when he came into the scene, highest rated rookie, and is still getting champs over 10 years later. Like, that's a crazy run. Nobody's ever done that. I agree. Halo vets are cool dudes. Probably dudes I'd want to hang out with, have a good conversation with, just like Eli. Love to chat with the cat. But he's not competing for world championships. Ogre 2, on the outside looking in, no longer dominant. Dude, you play Faker today, you are still terrified. Everybody.
That's because nobody cared about esports back then, Dylan.
And he was winning then, and he's still winning now. That's the crazy part. The last thing that I wanted to bring up is an issue that is, sensitive to my heart, and he is going to not enjoy this at all. Star Citizens, arguably one of the coolest games ever made, that still hasn't been made.
Says who?
Technically, it's not finished, and I don't really know how close it is to being finished. I also can't use all of my ships in the game still, which I've paid for, which is concerning.
How much do you pay for those?
It's insignificant. But what is significant is they just crossed $800 million from people, I'm not going to use the term suckers, like me, who have bought these ships. Are you buying or selling? A few. Are you buying or selling? Star Citizen is going to come out and be a great game.
So, instantly. Dude, it's Scam Citizen for a reason. This game is literally the biggest scam, and I can't wait till we get the documentaries years later about everybody that fell for this crap. I remember back in, I think it was 2012 or 13,
Dude, it's been a
my
while.
buddy Ryan showing me a little card he got because he bought a ship on Star Citizen. It's 2025, and it's still not out, and you've raised $800 million? What are we doing? It's such a big scam. It literally is a scam. Anybody who bought into this, God forbid, Dylan, why? Multiple? Dude, you're such a sucker, dude. What'd you think it was, an investment?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
When this game comes out, we're going to have ships. We're going to run a whole solar system. We're going to have land. We're going to be sitting pretty when this game comes out.
Dude.
I'm buying it for one. I have bought it for two. I don't know if I'll continue to buy it. It is going to get sus at this point. I do think the campaign is going to be coming out soon. I think if campaign comes out and is cool, which is Squadron 54, that comes out, is cool, I think it's got a chance. I think its concept is still really cool. The weird and concerning thing to me is, and this is not good, 10 years ago, it was like Eve was too hard and too established for me to get into when I learned about Eve. And that was something where I was like, oh, this could be really, really cool. I'd like to be interested in this. Okay, hey, there's this thing called Star Citizen. Let's look into this direction. Oh, this is going to be coming out soon. I was in college. That was a decade ago. We're still here. I will say my optimism is lowering by the year pretty heavily. But yeah, I'm still in there. I'm in there. We still got stuff. When it comes out, we'll be good. We'll have a good time. 1 year from now, I think we're talking about Star Citizen more than we're talking about Marathon. And that is all you need to know. That's all of our episode today. Thank you guys for hanging out, checking everything out, and listening to us banter about nonsense. If you're excited about any of those games or disagree with any of our takes, let us know down in the comment section. If you have any cool buy or sells, let us know too. He's going to sell everything because he's no fun. Anything on the outro, Pat? Anything you got for us?
Nah, basically, I just want to reiterate again, like I did the other day, golf, terrible sport. Masters, boo.
I thought it was soccer that you hated the other day.
Soccer is bad.
Oh, God.
Soccer right above golf. Here's golf.
But is Star Citizen above?
Here's bowling.
Where's Star Citizen in that pool?
Oh, in terms of regular sports, it's at least up here.
All right, we're up on the Star Citizen.
But it's a scam.
We'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.